Hey Queen, freeze. Because 43 days ago I pressed block on a man who has never been blocked by a single soul in his entire privileged life, 6'5". Shoulders that make Brioni look like it was invented for him. Private equity money that could buy small countries. The kind of face that makes women forget their own names. And exactly 6 weeks later, a matte black Rolls-Royce Cullinan glided up to my building at 9 a.m. Driver in white gloves. And in the backseat sat a limited edition Himalaya Birkin in gris pearl crocodile with palladium hardware and a handwritten card that read "Unblock me and shiz yours today. Keep me blocked and the matching Kelly arrives tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'm yours. Please. $45,000 on my marble kitchen island because I refused to give him one more second of my attention after he crossed my boundary. And tonight, I'm handing you the exact playbook every step. Every text I didn't send. Every move that turned a simple block into the most expensive apology on planet Earth. So that the next time a man forgets who you are, you can disappear so completely hell empty accounts just to hear your voice again. I want you to feel the moment it happened. We were in the back of his Phantom. City lights streaking across the leather. His hand sliding higher than I'd allowed. His mouth on my neck whispering, "Come on, baby, just tonight." And instead of arguing, instead of explaining for the 100th time that I move at my pace, or not at all, I turned, smiled the softest smile you've ever seen, kissed his cheek like I was saying goodnight to a child, stepped out of the car at the next red light, walked into my building without looking back, took the elevator up, poured myself a glass of 2008 Crystal Rosé, opened my phone, blocked his number, blocked him on Instagram, blocked him on WhatsApp, blocked the email he didn't think I had, blocked every possible portal he could crawl through, then slipped into a silk La Perla set and slept like a baby who just inherited the kingdom. The next morning, he woke up to absolute nothingness. No good morning text, no story view, no double tap on the photo ID posted from the night before. Just a black hole where the sun used to rise every time I replied. For a man who's used to women orbiting him like desperate moons. That silence hit like a heart attack. Day 1, he tried the casual hey from a burner number ignored. Day 3, he happened to be at my favorite cafe on Madison. When I walked in, I looked straight through him. Ordered my oat milk cappuccino and sat outside with my AirPods in. Day 7, he had 300 white roses delivered to my door. I smiled at the doorman, said wrong apartment, and watched them get loaded back into the van. Day 10, he emailed me from his work address subject line. I messed up with a paragraph that would make Shakespeare blush, left on read. Then archived. By day 14, he was in Paris because I posted a close friend story in front of the Eiffel Tower with my girls. I was actually in South Beach. But the mystery did its job. Every single attempt he made slammed into a brick wall of my absence. And every slam made him bleed money, pride, and sanity trying to find a crack. I stayed radiant. Weekly lymphatic massages at the Sicily Spa. New agent provocateur sets I modeled only for my mirror. Dinners at Zero Bond where my sisters and I laughed so loud the entire room watched. Posting just enough legs in the bathtub with champagne. Backless dress at sunset. Diamond choker, and nothing else to remind him what head lost without ever acknowledging he existed. I never wavered, never softened, never gave him the satisfaction of a reaction. Because queens don't argue with peasants. We simply remove them from the castle grounds. On day 39, he somehow got my new number. These men have ways. Called 3 times while I was getting a facial at Tracy Anderson. I watched his name flash on the screen. Let it ring. Smiled at my esthetician, then blocked that number too. That was the moment he broke. The next morning, the Birkin arrived, the one that takes years and $500,000 in herms, spent to even be offered. Untouched. Perfect. Sitting on my kitchen island like a trophy I never had to lift a finger for. Because I understood the single most lethal truth about high-value men. When you disappear completely after they disrespect you, their brain registers it as the ultimate loss. And they will spend whatever it takes to restore access to the woman who had the audacity to walk away without a fight. Here's the part most women get wrong. They think blocking is emotional, dramatic, a tantrum in digital form. But Queen's no blocking is strategy wrapped in diamonds. The single most elegant way to say your access has been revoked without ever lowering yourself to an argument. When I pressed that button, I wasn't angry. I was ascending. I was choosing my peace, my standards, my power over his ego. And the second his name vanished from my universe, the entire dynamic flipped. He went from hunter to hunted, from king to beggar, from "I'll hit her up later" to "I will move heaven and earth to get her back." The psychology is devastatingly simple. High-value men are addicted to control. And when you remove yourself completely, no closure, no explanation, no final text, just gone, you strip that control away so cleanly, it feels like amputation. Their brain floods with cortisol, then dopamine, then pure panic. Because suddenly, the woman they assumed would always be there is unreachable, untouchable, living her best life without them. And that void is unbearable. I've watched it play out the same way every single time. Day 1 is confusion. Day 3 is irritation. Day 7 is obsession. Day 14 is full-blown withdrawal. And by day 30, they are ready to sell organs to restore the connection. I stayed untouchable the entire 6 weeks. New hair at Rossano Ferretti. New body from Pilates at SLT every sunrise. New lingerie from Fleur du Mal that he would never see. Dinners at Carbone where the maitre d' knew my name before his. Nights dancing at Le Bain with my girls while he sat in his penthouse, refreshing my Instagram like a junkie looking for a hit that never came. Every story I posted legs in the bathtub with a glass of Dom. Backless Laquan Smith at sunset. Diamond tennis bracelet catching the light with the caption "self-made" was a silent dagger. Because he knew I was glowing brighter without him. And that glow was the most expensive revenge on earth. When the first wave of gifts showed up: Cartier love bracelet, Van Cleef necklace, 12 dozen roses, I had the doorman send them back unopened with a polite return to sender. When he showed up at my building twice, security turned him away before he made it past the lobby. When he emailed paragraphs apologizing, promising the moon, I never even marked them as read. I gave him nothing, no anger, no sadness, no second chance crumbs, just luxurious, deafening silence. And silence, my loves, is the most expensive sound a man like that has ever heard. By day 40, he was broken open. Voice notes from unknown numbers. Friends texting me on his behalf. A handwritten letter delivered by courier that I left on the console unopened. Then came the Birkin, not just any Birkin. The one in gris pearl crocodile with palladium hardware that takes years of Hermes spent to even be offered. Delivered in person by his driver with instructions to wait for my response. I let the driver stand in the hallway for 20 minutes while I finished my coffee. Then walked out. Ran one finger along the leather like I was inspecting fruit at the market. Smiled and said tell him thank you. But I'm still not unblocking. The next day the matching Kelly arrived. That's the power of absolute disappearance. When you refuse to reward disrespect with even a flicker of attention. A man who's used to buying his way out of everything realizes the only currency that works with you is total groveling, life-altering transformation. And Queens, that is exactly what he gave me eventually on his knees in my living room. Tears in his eyes, promising the world if I'd just let him earn me again. And the wildest part, I still have both bags, and I still decide every single day whether he deserves to breathe the same air as me. That, darling, is what blocking really does when you do it like a goddess. So here's your assignment. My love, starting tonight, you are adding the nuclear block to your feminine arsenal. And the very next time a man disrespects your boundary, tries to rush you physically, cancels last minute without a grand makeup plan, speaks to you in a tone he wouldn't dare use with his mother, anything less than worship, you are going to smile like an angel. Say not one extra word. Disappear like smoke in a Chanel coat. And watch him spend the next 6 weeks trying to buy, beg, bribe, or build his way back into the galaxy you just ejected him from. You block everywhere: phone, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, the email he thinks you forgot, his burner numbers. his best friend's numbers, everything. Then you go live your most expensive, radiant, unbothered life. Book the facial at Tracy Martin. Buy the La Perla set in every color. Fly to Chalum or Capri, or just brunch at Seydel's, with your girls laughing so loud the entire room wishes they were you. Post the subtle stories that make him sweat legs in the infinity pool. Champagne flute catching the light. Diamond choker, and nothing else with the caption peace people pleasing. And you never, ever, ever explain yourself. When the first wave of apologies hits, you ignore. When the flowers show up, you have the doorman send them back. When he pulls up outside, security earns their paycheck. When he emails paragraphs, you let them rot in the inbox. You give him nothing, no anger, no tears, no imhurt novel, just luxurious, Arctic silence that costs him more than any argument ever could. You stay glowing. You stay surrounded by sisters who screenshot his desperation and hype your silence like it's front row at Fashion Week. And you watch from your throne as his investment skyrockets. First it's the Cartier, then the Van Cleef, then the spontaneous flight to wherever you are, then the Birkin, the Kelly, the I cleared my schedule for the month text from a number you haven't unblocked yet. And when the offer finally lands that is so ludicrous, so deliciously submissive that accepting it feels like charity, the bag, the trip, the ring, the deed in your name, you can choose to unblock and let him earn his way back inch by humiliating inch. Or you can keep the gifts and keep him blocked forever. Either way, you win, because the power was never his. It was always in your perfectly manicured finger, hovering over that little red button. If your pulse is racing right now, if you're already thinking of the man who deserves this tomorrow morning, do 3 things immediately. Smash subscribe and turn on notifications, because every week I'm dropping another weapon that keeps you untouchable. Comment blocked and booked below so the entire sisterhood can celebrate you leveling up. And send this video to every queen in your life who's tired of teaching grown men basic respect.